So much love and appreciation to those of you who have been with me for the 2 year period plus that I've been doing this. Thank you for showing your love and support to the channel. And to anybody else who is brand new to the platform and you would like to support the channel, also, you can do it by way of Patreon, Anchor, the clothing store, and also the shoe shop that is listed in the comment description below. And again, thank you to any and all of you guys who have been here to support this channel during the 2+ year period. I wouldn't be able to do what I do every single day without you. Jurors at a civil trial found Tuesday that Bill Cosby went after a 16-year-old girl at a Playboy Mansion party back in 1975. The Los Angeles County jury delivered the verdict in favor of Judith Hugh, who is now 64, and awarded her $500,000. Jury found that Bill Cosby intentionally caused harm with Hugh, that he reasonably believed that she was under 18, and this is his conduct and was driven by an unnatural or abnormal interest in a minor. The jurors' decision is a major legal defeat for the 84-year-old entertainer, once hailed as the American Dad. It comes nearly a year after his Pennsylvania criminal conviction for SA was thrown out and he was freed from prison. Hugh's lawsuit was one of the last remaining legal claims against him after his insurer settled many others against his will. Cosby did not attend the trial or testify in person, but short clips from his 2015 video deposition were played for jurors in which he denied any contact with Hugh. He continues to deny the allegations through his attorney and publicist. Jurors had already reached a conclusion on nearly every question on their verdict form, including whether Cosby abused Hugh or whether she deserved damages after 2 days of deliberation on Friday. But the juror foreperson could not serve further because of a personal commitment, and the panel had to start deliberating from scratch with an alternate jury on Monday. Cosby's attorney agreed that Cosby met Hugh and her high school friend on a Southern California film set back in April of 1975, then took them to the Playboy Mansion a few days later. Hugh's friend, Donna Samuelson, a key witness, took photos at the mansion of Hugh and Cosby, which loomed large at the trial. Hugh testified that in the bedroom adjacent to a game room where the three had been hanging out, Cosby attempted to put his hands down her pants, then exposed himself and forced her to perform an act. Hugh filed her lawsuit in 2014, saying that her son, turning 15, the age she initially remembered being when she went to the mansion, and a wave of other women accusing Cosby of similar acts brought fresh trauma over what she had been through as a teenager. Hugh's attorney, Nathan Goldberg, told the jury of 9 women and 3 men during closed arguments Wednesday that, quote, "My client deserves to have Mr. Cosby held accountable for what he did. Each of you know in your heart that Mr. Cosby went after Miss Hugh." A majority of jurors apparently agreed, giving Hugh a victory in a suit that took 8 years and overcame many hurdles just to get a trial. During their testimony, Cosby's attorney, Jennifer, consistently challenged Hugh and Samuelson over errors and details in their story and a similarity in the accounts that the lawyers said represented coordination between the two women. This included the women saying in pretrial deposition that police interviews that Samuelson had played Donkey Kong that day, a game that did not release until 6 years later. Gene made much of this in what both sides came to call the Donkey Kong defense. Goldberg asked jurors to look past the small errors in detail that he said were inevitable in stories that were 45 years old and focus on the major issues behind the allegations. He pointed out to jurors that Samuelson said games like Donkey Kong when she first mentioned it in her deposition. The Cosby lawyers began her closing arguments by saying it's on like Donkey Kong and finished by declaring game over. Hugh's attorney reacted with outrage during his rebuttal. Quote, "This is about justice. We don't get game over. We need justice." This is something that I've technically covered a little bit before, and I've gone over some of the accusers and the inconsistencies, within some of their testimony and different things of that nature, right? Now, this is my thing at the moment in time, like I've clearly stated before. Everybody is solely looking at one person, right? So let's just go with the whole thing that the whole world is saying. Bill Cosby's the devil. He's a demon. He did everything that everybody said that he did, right? So let's just put that clearly on the board so people can clearly stay focused, right? This is my problem. This is my issue. How is it possible that a 16-year-old would be allowed to be at an adult party where there's going to be drugs and alcohol and grown men? And there's going to be adult activities that will be taking place at a mansion. So you mean to tell me nobody checked any type of ID? Nobody asked for any type of ID? Nothing, no type of red flags, no nothing. So how come during those times, none of these 16-year-old, girls, no calls to the parents, no call home, nobody like, hey, let me ring my parents and let them know, like, hey, this is where I'm at, this is what's going on. Nothing like that. No parents made any type of inquiry on, hey, where is my child? What's going on here? They should be here at, this such and such a time. That didn't happen at all. And then on top of that, this is the main thing that I want to bring up to people. If you look back at a lot of photos, right, from the 1970s, 60s, and so on and so on and so on, you will notice this main consistent thing when it deals with Caucasian women, that a lot of them who are teenagers appear to be, 10 years older than what they actually looked. If you don't believe me, go back and look. Nobody can 100% tell me beyond a shadow of a doubt, with all of the images that you see up here of Hugh Hefner, that you can 100% determine the ages of any of the individuals that are in the screen view at this moment in time. Like I said before, at the Playboy Mansion, it was normal for them to sit up there and have these 15 or 16 or whatever year old, teens there masquerading as women. But yet, nobody wanted to pay attention to that. Nobody wanted to bring awareness to that. But magically, right, when it just so happens to be a black man that is famous, he has money, he's built a platform for himself, he's pretty known around the world. It just so happens when he goes to one of these parties, one of these girls are basically there, or as they stated, right, he brought her there to that party, right? And then some things somewhat took place but didn't really take place, right? From the allegations, from everything that she's alleging, right? But then supernaturally, he's the only person that gets prosecuted, right? Like I said before, everybody around the whole world basically said that Bill Cosby did it. Fine, no problem. Fine, right? My main issue is the fact that you had Hugh Hefner running this type of ring with underage girls, and the whole world knew about it, and yet nobody said nothing. Still to this day, nobody says nothing. How come none of these women that were working at the Playboy Mansion during that time, when they were 14, 15, 16, 17, not legal to do anything? Explain to me why none of these women have come forward to say anything about Hugh Hefner, the working conditions, or the ages, the variety of ages of the girls / women that were there at that mansion that had adult contact with other grown men, including Hugh Hefner, along with taking in alcohol, taking in narcotics, and all different types of things. Like I said before, I find it hugely hilarious that one who was a black man, right, thrown in and out of prison, a whole bunch of trials, a whole bunch of women basically coming against him, right? But magically, Hugh Hefner, nothing. He's just known as the Godfather. He's just known as a pimp. He's known as a Mac. He's known as that guy because all he had was all of these quote unquote women around him, even though a lot of them were underage. Isn't that something? But like I said before, This is how America works. There's rules for one side, right, where you're going to be held and made to be accountable for every single thing. And then the rules for the other side, where it's like, you're one of us. We're not going to hold you accountable. On top of that, you're famous and you could probably throw some stuff our way. So, we're going to turn a blind eye to a lot of these things. Like I said before, it's quite amazing that a lot of these rings, right, with a lot of these young girls slash women, they exist in plain open sight for everybody to see, to look at, but yet it magically nobody has any type of questions about how it is that these type of engagements, these types of parties are able to take place. Amazing. But then we have the whole thing with Jeffrey Epstein. And then how people wanted to, just specifically pinpoint and go after that one guy. But yet you had well-known celebrities. You had well-known rich people. You had people from all over the elite world coming to Epstein's island, using his plane, being friends with Epstein. All of those pictures of the people that were friends with Epstein, you can still find those online. So if those people are friends with Epstein, more than likely they were in with whatever it is that Epstein was doing. But notice how it got real quiet on that. There's only at this point in time one person left who pretty much knows the details that Epstein wasn't able to tell due to the fact of his untimely death. So then once this goes quiet, I wonder what else is going to come up to the forefront and then go silent. I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm just asking for people to just look around, to look about, and notice all of the how to say this, all of the things that are able to transpire, right, to minors, and yet there's no big hoopla about it. Now, the only time that there's, in a sense, a hoopla is if it deals with a certain complexion. Just saying.